one of your priorities is community engagement. Talk about your activities and why that's important.
So we're a community that has a lot of parent involvement, which we cherish, and we continue to try to stay engaged with our PTOs, our booster clubs. We have a group of parents that volunteer to help parents be better parents called Parent Network, and staying engaged with them. And then our Elmbrook Education Foundation, which has been historically board of directors, are parents of current students or previous students. So just staying engaged with our parent groups, staying engaged with the community through Rotary, Chamber of Commerce, and such like that. We're just wanting to build partnerships with our local workforce providers and give our kids the best opportunities. So when they finish their degrees after high school or their training after high school, they know they have a place to come back to and call home.
So yeah, how do you um, build those partnerships with local businesses?
So we created a program 7 years ago called Launch. And that program is for our current 11th and 12th graders. We have two comprehensive high schools in the Elmbrook School District, and we partnered with one of our neighboring school districts, Wauwatosa, where we create career-based learning opportunities through local employers. So they might take a coursework that is specific to, say, data analysis. So they might have AP Stats and a data analytics course, and they would get projects and mentors and work-based experiences from local companies that work in the data and analysis business. We're the home of Milwaukee Tool and their engineering design team, so we get a lot of projects out of that team. Just building those bridges so our kids get the opportunity to learn in a workplace setting, and also our local employers get the benefit of having kids work on things that they might not be able to get to.
Is that part of the pitch when you go? When a business might say, "What's in it for us? Why should we?"
Yeah, historically, schools have gone to businesses with their hand out looking for donations, looking for monetary endorsements, things of that nature. This is more of a handshake. We want to provide a value add for your business, and we also want to provide our students with an experience that might mirror what they will experience when they're into adulthood.
Got it. And I also read your district was a model for literacy or science of literacy. Why?
Yeah, a handful of years ago, we did an analysis of our early literacy performance and discovered that we had some gaps in our curriculum and began to understand the cognitive science behind reading acquisition a little more deeply and implemented a phonics program. Eventually, we overhauled our entire curriculum, and we are in our first year of science-based reading instruction across our littlest learners, 4-year-olds, all the way up to our third and fourth graders. Just trying to reach as many kids to turn them into ferocious readers as soon as possible.
For other superintendents who might be looking at that kind of overhaul, what are some of the important steps to take?
We found success in allowing our staff to pilot some different programs. There are only a handful of programs that are in that space, and build a coalition of support around the pilots that were successful, dive deeper into those programs and resources, and provide the training to our staff that helps folks understand the cognitive science behind reading acquisition. Just built a knowledge base. We've been at this now for 4 or 5 years, and eventually you build a strong enough coalition that you can dive in feet first and both feet at the same time.
What else are you excited about that's going on in your district?
We've been working on something that has finally come to fruition. As you may know, we have a large amount of college debt bearing a burden on college graduates. And when I talk about college graduates, I'm talking about 2- and 4-year schools. So we've been on a mission to reduce the time to a degree and reduce the cost to a degree. by building in a number of courses that allow students to get high school credit while also earning college credit. We call it the Elmbrook Promise. It's a promise that if you start with us as a freshman in high school, you'll have access to 30 college credits before you graduate from high school. We have been slowly building that up to the point where now we're going live with it this year. That's not to say we didn't have success in previous years. Last year's graduating class, which is a total of about 600 kids, only one student out of those 600 kids graduated without taking a college credit bearing course while in high school. So we've had some really good success. Many of our kids will graduate with 25, 27 college credits ready to go as they leave our high schools. So again, we're really focused in on reducing the time to a degree and reducing the cost to a degree for our students by doing this dual enrollment, dual credit bearing system. And we're certainly trying to deliver on our motto, which is every student, every time, all the time. And whether it's the Elmbrook Promise or whether it's launch or early literacy efforts, we believe that our mission is to connect with every student every time, all the time, and help them be successful in life, college, and career, so they're ready for the next phase of their maturation.
That kind of approach sounds like it definitely involves some social emotional learning and relationship building. Is that a part of it?
We certainly rely on our adults to build strong relationships with kids, and we'll continue to be very grateful and thankful that we have an amazingly talented group of educators serving almost 8,000 kids. We're very fortunate to have that type of talented workforce, where if you asked our kids, the majority of them would answer affirmative to, do you have a caring adult that's in your school? We take that very seriously because we know that students need to connect with the adults that serve them beyond just the academic framework.
What are some of your big concerns around the education, whether it's in your district or Wisconsin or nationally?
Hmm.
What keeps you up at night?
Immediate concerns, workforce shortages. We're seeing, regardless of the job category, we're seeing a rapid shortage of bus drivers, of food service workers, of teaching assistants, and of teachers. When I first started in 2012, we used to get 700 to 900 applicants for an elementary teaching job. We're now getting about 50. And that shortage is going to cause us to have to rethink how we deploy a teacher workforce if we don't fix that pipeline problem. So we started a future teachers program in our schools. So we have about 30 plus students that are in their first or second year of being a future teachers. It's part of the launch program. And they actually get placed in other teachers' classrooms as almost like a observation participation hour or student teaching experience. So we're trying to give our interested high school students the opportunity to experience the teaching side of our great profession. That keeps me up at night, is the workforce shortage, though.
What are you seeing as far as behavior, or have you found some solutions? Is it
The pandemic disrupted some of our youngest kids' abilities to maintain executive function. So the ability to problem solve and the ability to maintain decorum, those problems are here as well. And we hear that from districts across the country that our littlest learners, some of them do not have the executive function that we would typically see. And so we're adjusting our programs and services to help students that are having trouble regulating to learn how to use that executive function more successfully. We'll get through this, though. I mean, the pandemic disrupted kids. Our learning loss, we've recovered and are now achieving at a level that exceeds our pre-pandemic level. So we're excited about that and really proud of the hard work that our staff and our leaders did to reduce that learning loss and that learning gap. But we're still going to be helping a handful of kids adjust back to a normal school setting when they might not have had that executive function mastered yet.
Got it. Anything else you want to say about your district or your leadership philosophy?
Just very humbled by the Superintendent of the Year award. It's a culmination of a whole bunch of people working really, really tirelessly and relentlessly for children, and am fortunate and blessed to be able to work in a district like Elmbrook.